Hello and welcome back to our AFK Endurance Trap Tunnel videos. We are in Plankerton once again. So this is my Amplifier C. It is the west of the home base. The names get a bit finicky in Plankerton, but there is another one over there which is northwest, so I'm avoiding saying northwest. So yeah, this is probably, I think, an amplifier that everyone would place down. So you will likely have both of these spawns, but obviously if you have the amplifier placed down over there, you won't have a north spawn. But we're going to start with the north today, and for this they're going to spawn right around the location of the amplifier, just like with the other areas where we have an amplifier. They generally just spawn just behind it and around the area. So we'll put loads of ceiling traps over there, but we'll start with the main trap tunnel up here by the amplifier. So what we're going to do is, towards the end here, we're going to bring them up this side, and then once they get to the amplifier, we'll probably just let them go in. Now what you can do for this one, because we've got a bit more space around the amplifier, is you can make a bait and switch like we did in Twine, but given it's Plankerton you really shouldn't need it, so you might want to skip that. On this ramp down here, we're going to force them to come up this outside lane, so they come up here, and then we're going to make them turn here like this. You can leave this one open and have a wall launcher here, and then what you can do as well is have a wall launcher here, which will force them to get sent out. And then over here, what we can do is have like this, and if we place the ceilings here now, we can get a wall darts on here. Now, we don't want them to be able to go around here, really, because they're going to go to some weird places, so we will just do that with a wall as well. Now, as I said, for this bit, we can put a wall launcher here. The only issues, if any, are that as the enemies come up here, they might want to break through this wall, but given the amplifier is that direction, they should be fine just coming around here. And then, yeah, these two, we can launch them out down there. At which point, if it's a flinger or a lobber, obviously they're going to try aim at the amplifier, but we'll put anti-air traps down for that, don't worry. Or you can build a lobber shield, you know, either way works. But if it's a regular husk, they're then going to have to walk back up that ramp there and go through the trap tunnels again. So it's a lovely way to sort of recycle the traps. And what we can actually do is we can actually just keep the ceiling up here for all of this. And then on here, we can actually get traps that will zap in. And then what we can do is, because that floor down there is 3 blocks below us, we can just continue the ceiling from here across this entire place. Like so. Just cover this entire area. Just to behind the amplifier. You don't need to place one over the amplifier because enemies won't walk underneath it, because they can't. So you can avoid doing that. But yeah, for the rest of this area, we're going to blanket cover it. Now, you can make a connection up here if you're paranoid about, you know, one of them breaking over there. You can just add a connection here, just to give it a bit more structural support. Now, enemies could flank round there, up here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to block this ramp off just to cover any unforeseen circumstance where the enemy will try flank up here. In fact, on the bottom, you probably want to put one on the side as well, just to be safe. I believe that should be the only way up to this island bit. Just a little adjustment here, and on one of my test runs, we had spawns up here on the mountain. Never on the top here, but I believe they were just behind the hill here. Now, interestingly enough, the enemies didn't come down here, and I need to add that back in, but that was broken out from when I did the spawn for this amp here that you can place. But yeah, all we can do for this is we need to make sure that they don't have a way to get on top of the trap tunnels, so we need to get rid of all of these corners here. Now, don't worry, the flingers and lobbers can't, you know, aim from here. It just means that no enemy can drop onto the trap tunnel, because that's what they were doing. They just dropped on top and then went to the objective. And then once we've done that, what we can do is just, you know, build up from here. So if we do this, and then should we do it from down here actually, like that, and then if I can just, I'll just use this to get up real quick. We can add a ceiling up there. Then what we can do is cover this like so. You can, whoops, didn't mean to do that. You can then do this. Now, as I say, I didn't see a spawn on the top of this, but just in case there ever is one, obviously you're going to have issues because if a spawn comes up here, the enemies are then just going to walk towards the objective. So if you ever do see that, I mean, it's really unlucky. Like, I haven't seen it in any of my testing. As I say, I just saw the one down here, which came on randomly on one of the tests. So I don't think you need to build for up this area, but you can, just in case, add it over here, and it should kill most of the enemies that spawn. And then if you do see it, obviously, you can either just build blockades down here, but I think the enemies will still go this way instead. So this should hopefully deal with it. But then what we're going to do is just extend this back a little bit further. And to be honest, that should be enough. As I say, the spawn was like there, so these ceilings here, we will put ceiling electric fields on all of these. You can even put like wall darts on those walls if you want. You probably don't need this much going up to cover it. That's up to you. I'll leave that to you to decide how much you want to add, but basically the main important thing is to stop them from being able to jump on the ceiling. You probably don't need any of this ceiling stuff. This is just in case they do land on top, mainly. And as I said, they didn't wander around here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to block this flanking route off like so. We'll just do this, and then a wall, and that should be perfect. And then what you can do is just extend the ceiling there. You can put one that side as well if you want, but that's less important because they're going to go there to try break through, so then that ceiling will cover that. You can cover this bit as well to stop flingers mostly at this point from being able to get a sight on the amplifier. And then what I'd do is just cover these bits with walls just to stop, again, flingers from being able to fling. Yeah, that covers all of the ceilings. Now, as I say, you can extend this out here to stop flingers and lobbers from being able to target the amplifier. Obviously, they're not going to be able to get past this wall, so if you start stairs from here and just go up maybe 2, that should cover that area. Just take it all the way across. But we're going to do it with anti-air traps instead because it's far more efficient. But if you do see any issues, any bugs, anything like that, just obviously place down the flinger and lobber shield. Now, once they're up here, well, as I say, at this point, it's only going to be smashers as a very, small chance, or the mini-boss, because the mini-bosses are very hard to kill, even with loads of traps. But we can get some floors down in this area. We want a wall there. This bit's obviously going to be open. On these ramps, we can do this to get damage. We'll block them from going up that side. Now, you can do some extra stuff down here if you want. We'll probably stop them from being able to go on that bit over there, because they might then go over our block-offs for the other area. But yeah, you can add some walls around this area, should you want to. So we already have this for the block-off. You can put one here, put some wall darts on it. You can get them up here with wall darts facing into the spawns. But the ceilings are pretty much going to do the job for us here. There's really not much need for anything extra. You could go for that with some wall darts to shoot them as they come up this bit. Similarly here, you could add, a bit of extra. You could then do broadsides here, for example, now. That will ping between. We're going to want sound traps to stop the exploders from, destroying our trap tunnels. We can put them on these walls, and then you can put them on some of these as well. But yeah, that should cover most of the structures. As I said, though, you can build a bait and switch should you want to. We have this nice bit over here, where if we bring them, for example, up here, like so, this will work for both directions, as the other direction we're going to bring them through there, and then they could wander up here if we then bring them to here, or if we do a stairs like so, we can then put wall lights on there. That will knock off any smashers, but this is mostly for mini bosses anyway. So all you need to do is just make sure speaking is hard. All you need to do is just make sure it connects to the corner of the amplifier, and then replicate the same build we did in Twine. So I'll just briefly show it in case people haven't watched those videos. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to, whoopsie daisy, you're going to fall down real quick, because that's how the pros do it. Then all you need to do is just do the other side like this. The opposite corner to where we bring them to. And then underneath this bit is important, is get archways on all of these, and then a thin wall connecting to the floors of that. Now, I'm not going to build the whole thing, and I do want to try testing it without the bait and switch, so that's why I'm not building it, but I just wanted to show you in case you didn't know how it worked. Basically, the mini-bosses and smashers will go up it, thinking that's a defense for the amplifier, and then the wall lights will knock smashers off, and the mini-bosses generally like to walk up, get to the amplifier, maybe break one wall, and then jump down. Sometimes they jump down without breaking anything. It's beautiful. But yeah, as I say, for this area over here, you can add extra stuff here if you wish. You know, say like a wall here with the wall launcher, add some floors or whatever. I'm going to leave it open from here, but should you see any issues, obviously just add extra damage up here. But yeah, I'll go ahead and level this up, and then we can place the traps down, so I will see you shortly. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you are enjoying the video, please do let me know in the comments. But also, I am on the Supporter Creator program, so if you could please use my code CAMBG, and be sure to subscribe as well to get all future videos. Thank you so much. The anti-air trap 1 range on there for durability. Ceiling drop trap, so we're going for a crit build on this one as well. Ceiling electric field, we're going for a crit build once again, you know it. Floor freeze trap, so for this one we've got 2 impact and knockback. Floor launcher, so for whacking all the impact and knockback on there. Tar pit trap, so for this one I like to go for full durability. Wall darts, another crit build, another all-rounder build. The wall dynamo trap, so for this one I've gone for energy. Wall launcher, so for this one we've got 3 impact and knockback. Wall lights, so another 3 impact, 2 reload speed. Wall spikes here, we've gone for crit build, so 2 crit rating, 2 crit damage. Wooden floor spikes, so crit build on this one, that's pretty much that stuff all leveled up. We can go ahead and place the traps. So starting towards the amplifier here, on pretty much all of these ceilings, apart from some exceptions, which I will say as I'm going through, we were playing tire drop traps. So for these, you want to face the direction the husks will be facing generally as they come through the tunnels. The reason being is they will knock backwards to the way you place it. So as I'm facing this way, placing that one, it will knock the enemies backwards this way. So it will knock them back out of the tunnel, right back down to spawn. And then for the entire spawn down here, I'll just speed this bit up for you guys to save you having to watch this entire thing. But just, again, it doesn't really matter too much on the direction on these, but generally just face away from the... or face the amplifier, sorry, as you place them. That way they will get knocked away from the amplifier. Cool. Now, one could argue you could use ceiling electric field in some of these areas. I really don't think that's efficient over a spawn because, you know, like in a 3x3 area, all of the electric fields are going to go off when one enemy spawns in the center. And that just means the trap durability is not going to last as long. So I really don't think that's the way to go for it. So I think tire drop traps over a spawn. But it's up to you. If you don't have the tire drop trap perked up and all that stuff, you can feel free to use ceiling electric field. Just bear in mind that down here, this is a 3 tall gap, which means that the tire drop traps work, but the ceiling electric field would not in that area over there. But yeah, wooden wall spikes even. I'm going to correct myself real quick there. On this one, just to stop and heal this wall if they do try to break through. Down here, as I said when I placed it, we can put broadside traps bouncing over each other here. And then at the sides, we're going to want some juicy sound traps. And then as I go up the hill here, I'm going to place one on one on the left side, on the bottom and the top, just to really enforce the fact that we hate exploders and we want them to perish and not be able to explode. We're going to have to break this wall, place it back to get a broadside on it, but then at this side, broadside as well. Now for here, we'll do wall darts. You could put broadside there if you want, but it will bounce and then it'll sort of dribble down here, which won't be as effective as, wall darts. Then on here, we want the wall launcher, so we're going to go for full durability one on this. So I'll just use my 130s because they're full durability. Now, what you might want to do, this is up to you, and actually I'm going to change it. So I'm going to get rid of that wall. The reason being is this wall launcher will now push them like all the way back down here, as opposed to previously it would have just pushed them and then they'd hit the wall, land here and come back up. So I apologize for changing that after the fact, but there you go. Through the floor on this entire thing, we're just going to do tar pit trap. Now you can put them on the ramp if you want here. And then similarly, you can do it here. I'm going to avoid it. I don't like doing it when I can avoid it, so I'm going to avoid it entirely. Now, I just want to make sure I get durability on these as well. And this one for the wall launchers. Now, as I'm up here, I'm just going to place some more ceiling traps, but this time we're going to do ceiling electric field. So this trap here, obviously the enemies will never stand beneath it, so there's no point for a tire drop trap, but the ceiling electric field here will zap out to enemies stood here. It will zap over, and the same logic applies for all of these ones at the side. You can even put them out there if you want. It's a little bit overkill, but it's up to you. If you want to go for that, go for it. On this wall, we will do broadside because it will bounce nicely against that wall. And then over here, we will do wall darts there. We will get a wall dynamo on that wall. Now, this isn't as much damage as you could potentially do in this area. Obviously, if you close up these sides and don't knock the enemies down there, which is perfectly valid. If you want to go for that, please feel free to. What you'd want to do instead is you'd put a wall here with wall darts. This would be a low wall as well, like this one, with wall dynamo. And then these would both be broadside traps. And you'd have a wall here with broadside traps on as well. I like to give options for you guys, especially in Plankerton. You know, you can really change things up in Plankerton and it's still effective. Unlike Twine, where you pretty much have to stick to the best build. Otherwise you just get wrecked. But then, as I said when I started this with the structures, you can add stuff here if you want, you know, another floor, a wall, ceiling traps, all that stuff. You shouldn't need it. It is Plankerton, and if you do place your base down as you go through, obviously it wouldn't be fully AFK in that matter, but especially if you are using 130 traps as well, I'm just using 106. They will get knocked down to 116, I believe, but it's still very effective. Now, what we can do here, as I said, you can build a bait and switch, or you can build what we did in the other ones, where we just have a wall like this, and then I can just get this built. We have ramps going up to the middle, like this. I like this design because it's efficient, and it works for, you know, lobbers and flingers if they were to be down there. So we'd place this, and then on the top, we'd go for anti-air trap, and then on these ones, we would go for wooden floor spikes, but I'm just going to get 106. Either or, this or the bait and switch that I built previously, it's up to you which you want to go for. The thing you might want to do as well is place some anti-air traps down here if you don't have a lobber shield, just for the enemies that go down into that area down there. As I said, you can build a lobber shield. Either works. But yeah, there we go. There's your north build. Be sure to check out the west direction. I will try to get that up over the next few days. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of that beautiful stuff. Thank you so much for getting to this point, if you have, and have a great day. Cheers.